welcome to Gemstone Tarot. This is your weekend tarot reading for, when's it for, Valentine? 1st of September and the 2nd of September. We are in September. We got through August, we got through July, we got through eclipse season. I'm quite excited and I think we're all just a little bit exhausted. Do you want to sit on my knee? You never sit on my knee, do you, sweetie? No, you want to go on the table. Let's see how that goes, Val, shall we? Shall we see how that goes? Yes. That's a good girl. You jump off and go where you need to go. Well done. Anything could happen. 1st and 2nd of September. I am using the Greek tarot. Okay. Valley Bobs, I think, is taking up position on the bed there. I really do need to wash that bit. She's made this kind of whole cavern of black fur. Now, I'm giving these a good shuffle. I'm giving these a big girl shuffle. Just to make sure, okay? Just to make sure. So, I am working on the September readings. A lot of people have been in touch with me about that. I am pacing myself at the moment. Personal readings at the moment. I am doing same day 24-hour readings only. I've closed the other readings, she said. I've closed the other readings temporarily just because I'm booked. If you are a regular person who has regular readings with me and you do want a reading, just send me an email, okay? But for new people, it's same day readings only just at the moment, so I can just pace myself a little bit and make sure that everyone's getting the proper attention that they deserve, including me and including Valentine, who always gets more than your fair share, don't you, sweetheart, from me and half the neighbourhood. Okay. Right, so when it gets to that point, I'll try and show you where you do that and they will no longer go together. For me, that's the end of shuffling. Everybody has their own little shuffling quirk. My mum can actually do all that croupier stuff. You know, where you sort of go and then and put it all back together. Like that. It's pretty cool. I can't. But it's quite funny if you want to watch me try, okay? Most of it will involve you watching the top of my head as I sort of scrabble about on the floor, picking up cards. I did once have a go, actually, at being a croupier. Oh dear. Not in a formal way, just that I was there and somebody said, oh, do you want to have a go? And I was like, yeah, I work with cards all the time, but I don't work with maths. Oh. What are these energies, people? That's cool. Okay. These have been shuffled to the max. There is some kind of message here that you know, my understanding of it, we're talking when I used to do geography, which I have to say I found extremely boring, but probably because the syllabus was very boring when I was at school. Very few things I remember, okay? In fact, probably only one thing, and I can't even pronounce it right, but we did this thing about fjords, which is something to do with this diagram in this smelly old book that, quite honestly, everybody had drawn penises in, because at my school, if there was a textbook, you had to draw penises in it. Don't ask me why. Bibles, textbooks, anything, whether it resembled one or didn't resemble one, would be turned into a big drawing of a dick. So, anyway, that aside, we have these things called fjords, and there was always this diagram of strata of earth and rock and whatever is underneath earth and rock, and then there would be a process of erosion where it would go like that. And I remember that there was this dip, and the dip is like what's going on under the surface and what allows things like water, which is an extremely powerful element in terms of freezing, cracking, eroding, expanding, shrinking, whatever my hands are doing, all of those things, okay, but doing it in quite an underground kind of a way. That, now you've had the full explanation of of willies in the textbooks at my school, is where I'm at with the energies. Below the surface, if you think of our, this is how I think of the universe, okay? And I think of it a bit in terms of a child's picture. So the topsoil, the surface, and then what goes on up above the surface. As Shakespeare would say, all the world's a stage, and the players, and the set, and the bricks, and the mortar, and the people, and the money, and the jobs, and the ego, and all of the things that we are all caught up in some sense, some more than others. Some time in your life you're more caught up in it than other times, okay? At the moment, I see the energies that we're getting in these weird readings, particularly that one we had the other day with the 5 major arcana, which was big, okay? That reading was big. I went to sleep for about a day after that reading. I feel like there is this dualistic thing going on where there are things below the strata and things above it. And what's going on below it is really interesting. What's going on below things always catches my eye more than what's above, but actually we should be concerned with both. We work with both. We do live in the real world. Cher turns up again, Queen of Cups in reverse. A well shuffled pack, but Cher makes it back. That rhymed. Not bad. Okay. She blends and she merges into the earth. There are times when we all do this. Sometimes when we actually get meditation right and it hits the spot. Sometimes when you see a nice thing in a shop, it doesn't have to be deeply spiritual. Sometimes when you eat a galaxy bar. Just say it. You feel... Sometimes when you're at the beach, sometimes when you're sat in the forest floor and you look around you and you feel as much a tree as the tree, that kind of feeling is where she merges with the earth. This is in reverse. Now, a reversal is just a reversal after all. We're talking yin and yang. In a reversal, there's an upright. In an upright, there's a reversal. It's not black and white. There's not some tarot line where all of a sudden you're going through a 360, it reaches 180 and bing, everything changes. It doesn't work like that. It is all integrated. So this reversal for me just kind of buries it a bit. There is some buried intuition. And then next to it, the Judgment card in reverse. Judgment card for me always has a very, a somewhat apocalyptic thing. It does have mummies coming out of tombs in that one, so I guess, my clue is in the picture. It does have this element of second chances, but it's not as trite as that. It's more of a second judgment. Sometimes you would think a second judgment at something would give you a better understanding. Not always, but I feel like it's trying to marry the evidence of what's going on up here with what's going on down there. Now, the Three of Swords. Triangles. It's a bit like geometry today, isn't it? It's a bit of a school lesson. We've got penises in textbooks, we've got 180s, we've got 360s, and now we've got triangles. Pythagoras, okay? He loved a triangle, didn't he? He loved a triangle, Pythagoras. He probably loved a love triangle, They all got up to all sorts, didn't they, those Greeks? So, Agamemnon, stabbed in the bath as he comes home from his campaign. Clytemnestra, his wife, and her lover. Who planned it? This Three of Swords has a deeper meaning when you look at the 10 cards that are in the Mythic Tarot. There's a whole story of the house of this family. And Agamemnon is no saint in this scenario, okay? Obviously stabbing someone in the bath, also not so good. But it's one of those typical kind of Greek tragedies where it's a bit like a soap opera, but better put, And when you do get the triangle, there is triangulation of some kind. And the message I get from it, which I don't fully understand, but maybe you do, is giving your power away. And sometimes your power is to stay put and be a point in the triangle and not move. Whether that be a love triangle, a life triangle, any kind of triangulation, rather than parallel lines. Then we get the Ten of Pentacles. This is definitely above the line. This is a nice card. This is a card of generational wealth. It can be to do with inheritance. So this whole reading could be to do with the inheritance of your family, family patterns, family wealth, literally working out something about family homes, family money, family secrets, definitely for some people. And that could be within your own family, whatever that is, or your extended family. It could be from the past, the present, or the future. In this Judgment card, each one of these rather creepy people coming out here, one is past, one is present, one is future. Perhaps it's past, present and future in a triangle. I don't particularly have to mime you a triangle. I'm sure you know what a triangle is. Some days I feel like I don't. Four of Wands in the middle. That's nice. Now, at this point, Jason, from Jason and the Argonauts, is halfway through his journey. You can see here the Argo. I think it's got the all-seeing eye painted on it somewhere, but you can't quite see it. So, Heracles and kings and people come out, and it's a bit like when you're doing a marathon, well, not really a marathon because they don't stop halfway through. It'd be good if they did. Everest, maybe, you reach the half base camp. It's celebration. It's Four of Wands. It's also the 1111 card. It's also the card of a portal. If you think of it in terms of not a triangle, this is getting very geometrically skewed, not a triangle, but two parallel lines. And there will be a mathematical thing for that somewhere. And if there isn't, we will create one. Okay. This is a very esoteric weekend reading today. I hope that... okay. I hope it's resonating. Valley Bob is now totally zonked. Yes. Message in a bottle. We don't get this one very often, but I really like it. And I love those things where people make ships and things that go in bottles and look like they won't come out. Now, message in a bottle, very interesting to get because of the water element of today's reading. And also, message in a bottle can be from a long time ago. And I'm getting a song in my head. Glory of Love by Peter Cetera. Yeah, from a long time ago. Oh my God. Okay. Messages in bottles are oblique. It's not like an email, is it? It's not like somebody face to face saying to you, blah, blah, blah. It's something someone wants to say that for some reason needs to travel and be hidden and to bob up at the right time. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's them. With that Judgment card on the table and the Four of Wands, 1111, there may be a message. There may be a message. I have no idea what form that will come in. Have your antennae ready. That's a strong card. Interesting. Self-acceptance. That old chestnut. That very important chestnut. Self-acceptance. You know, when we were talking about the triangle and sometimes you need to stay at one point, that is self-acceptance. Sticking with yourself, not changing for anybody else. Sticking with your deep strata. And new love. This can be any kind of love. It can be literally new love. It can be reunion, because we do have the Four of Wands in the middle. It can be someone returning to a home from family from long ago. As Peter Cetera would say, from a long time ago. Oh God. Sometimes I think my brain is just a disco. Life is just a disco, really, isn't it? Okay. Or it can literally be new love coming in, but there's still an element of resolving this triangle and turning it into parallel lines. That was an interesting reading. I really hope that resonated. I'm sure that resonated for a few people a lot. And some people are like, what's she talking about? So do leave a comment in the comment section. Do share the reading as well. And the September readings will be up very soon. Okay, namaste.